Welcome back in to what will most likely be the final episode of Bleav in USA for quite some time. But you know what? We come with good news, and that good news is a gold medal around the necks of every single U.S. player in this tournament because USA has won gold officially. They have beat Canada. They did what nobody thought they could do, and USA captures its first gold in 46 years off the backs of Matt Boldy and Jack Hughes. Wow, unbelievable. I mean, I started this podcast to talk about USA, inform some people about how good this team was, because I really thought that this year was the year that they had a serious chance to go all the way and finally take that one last step and beat Canada. Connor Hellebuyck, game of his life. Game of his life. Guy was a brick wall. 40-plus saves. Unbelievable. That's it. I mean, we have to talk about that save where he stuck his stick out, just caught just the tiniest little piece of wood and chipped off. I mean, this is like heavenly interventions type stuff. This is unbelievable. He has proven himself beyond any shadow of a doubt as a big game player. You can't say anything anymore. Connor Hellebuyck is the man, you know? Matt Boldy is the man. Jack Hughes is the man. And one thing I have to address at the end of last episode, I said that I didn't think Jack Hughes would be a big contributor in this game. And I'm not ready to eat all the crow on that one, you know? I was wrong, obviously. Game-winning goal, golden goal in overtime. I want to make the case that I was kind of right because nothing really happened until he got the space in provided by 3v3 overtime. I said that Jack Hughes is the kind of guy that needs space. He needs to be able to work and move the puck and skate around people with his incredible skating ability, which he obviously possesses. However, he could, in a game like this, everybody's so clogged in the middle everywhere. There's nowhere for him to move, right? So finally breaks through and gets the space he needs in 3v3 overtime. And boy, did he make every bit of it count, you know? With the setup from Zach Werenski, I mean, picture perfect moment. We were all watching at the bar, and everybody froze. Everybody froze because nobody could see the puck. And then you see the lineman's hand go up, and boom, chaos. Maybe I'll put a video if I have it here, but I mean, this is what dreams are made of, you know? What dreams are made of. This is unfathomable that this is the world we live in. We have officially beaten Canada and taken home gold medals for the first time in 46 years. 46 years. This is the best Team USA there's ever been by a long shot. This outclasses the 2010 and 2014 teams by leaps and bounds. And obviously, like, listen, Miracle on Ice team is legendary. That story will ring home in American households for all of time. But this is not a miracle. You know, that's the take I like the most. It's not a miracle. It's not a surprise we won. This is the year where we even the playing field with Canada and finally took that last step and just got over the hump and beat them, despite them having the best talent in the entire world. So, housekeeping before I get into the game breakdown. Matt Boldy. I feel like that goal is getting kind of lost in the shuffle here because that's like what an unbelievable effort by him. And I said, if you listen to last episode, almost everything I said came to pass. I mean, I said, do not waste any single chance that Canada gives you. And not only did they not waste a chance, they created their own chances. I mean, Matt Boldy busting through two defenders, splitting them, and off a wobble, bounces it. I think he bounced it to himself, finally puts it in. Shocking. For an early lead, I said last episode, I thought it felt like a tall task to grab an early lead, but it totally set the pace for the entire game. set the pace for the entire game, because Canada, as they have all tournament long, has to play from behind, which means their first line gets extra shifted. McDavid's on the ice way more. I don't know if you guys noticed. I saw him out there at pretty much all times, which means he gets more tired by the end of the game. You know, it's a matter of keeping up momentum, keeping your game plan going. And because Matt Boldy gave us that lead early, it set us up for victory entirely. I entirely believe that that's the case. You know, I said, do not let any chance they give you go untaken. And he created his own breakaway. It really wasn't, they didn't catch him breaking on an odd man rush. He didn't get caught, you know, on a lucky bounce. No. That was a play that he created for himself, a scoring chance that he went out there and made for himself to put that in. And I just don't have any words. I mean, when I first saw his name in the top 4, I was like, Matt Boldy? And then I looked up his stats. This guy's got 32 goals this season with like 30 assists. He's an animal. He's an animal. And the amount of talent that the Minnesota Wild have right now, for the record, they have Quinn Hughes. They just traded for him, is unfathomable. And ironically enough, if you want to delve into the rumor mill, they're apparently digging for Vincent Trocheck from the Rangers. We'll see if they end up doing it, but I don't know. 3 gold medal winners, 4 in Faber. Sorry, apologize. 4. Unbelievable, truly unbelievable effort. And we're gonna give him a shout out later, but that's Bill Guerin. I mean, I'll definitely eat crow on that, but that's something for later. So I already said what I said about Jack Hughes. He needed the space. You know, I said it last episode, didn't expect him to be a huge factor. And to be honest, he wasn't in the regulation game, right? He played. I had times where the guys I was watching the game with said, hey, where's Jack Hughes? Why is he not out there? I said, dude, listen, they know who to get on when. He was getting shifted, and you know what? He did use his speed to dig out in the corners, as I said we should be doing, and he took that nasty slap or stick to the teeth, and that knocked out like all of his teeth. But everybody on the team knew their roles, right? They know exactly what they were supposed to be doing out there. Whether they're a speed guy, whether they're a physical guy, toughness, scorer, everybody did exactly their job. Exactly their job, no more, no less. And that's why they're all wearing gold right now. That's why they're all wearing golds. That's why the USA all has gold right now. So getting into the game, we got off to an insanely fast start. Insanely fast. Loved the intensity that came out. Hitting, exactly like I said last episode, make them double think every decision they have to make, right? If they have the puck, I want them to be looking around for somebody to be hitting them from the USA. And they did. We really made them come out looking shaky. Shaky enough to have Matt Boldy come and split the defenders, create his own chance, and score off an amazing breakaway goal. Seriously, cannot give that goal enough credit. I mean, for God's sakes, that was unbelievable. Then we get a power play shortly after that. And Matthews, he held that puck. Oh, my God. It was just him and Binnington. And he has the ability to put that in. I mean, listen, you have to trust the guys you have out there. And if Matthews, I'm coming to his defense here. If he didn't see the shot, he didn't have the shot. He didn't have the angle. Not going to hark on that. I know if we had lost, you'd see everybody else out there screaming their faces off. Why didn't Matthews shoot that puck when he had it right in front of the crease? Listen, these guys know that if you have the puck wide open here, people are going to be chasing you, and you make one more pass to a guy that's on the weak side, because the goalie was facing him, right? And the closer the goalie stands to where you are, a lot of goalies, when they're facing a man disadvantage, they're going to come out. They're going to come out and attack, because what that does is that takes away your angle. So the more space Matthews has, it's like think of it like a pyramid, right? It shoots out in a triangle this way. This is what he sees and where he can shoot at the goal. This is what they call his angle. Now, if I'm Binnington, I'm going to jump out at him and try and cover up as much space as I can, right? And I do that by getting closer, pushing in. That triangle starts to shrink, right? And he must have seen if he pops it up, he would probably aim top left. He's not going to hit it. However, he knows, because he's an extremely experienced hockey player, if he comes across the crease, one extra pass, boom, that's a tap in. Somebody's there, and somebody's probably open. So that's why he passed that up. Just a quick explanation. I wrote shoot. Most of these notes are belligerent nonsense. It's not, my Sweden notes look a lot different. They were the most thoroughly typed out everything. This is just belligerent nonsense because, it was harder to watch in the bar. It doesn't matter. We give up a penalty. We commit a penalty, which I didn't think was a penalty. They kind of got us before that, but listen, calls got to go both ways. But then, 30, not even 30 seconds in, Charlie McAvoy of all people, and he knew it too. He hooked him. And that was the right call. 100% it was the right call. They needed to call that. They have to call that, right? It's too obvious. Drop your stick, man. Drop your stick. You're a very experienced defenseman in the NHL. Drop your stick. You can't, gold medal game. You have the lead. You're up 1-0 and you go down 5-3. Or sorry, you go down on a 5-3 advantage for Canada. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever see that. I thought it would take the entire world to have the refs give Canada a 2-man advantage, but it happened. And I got to look up who was in. I have to imagine it was, we cycled a lot, but Trocheck, Miller, and it couldn't have been McAvoy because McAvoy is in. I'd imagine they went with Slavin because Slavin's been fantastic on defense. Unbelievable shutdown D. But defensive defenseman too. There's a difference. Quinn Hughes is more of an offensive defenseman, so he usually wouldn't play the penalty kill. But wow, 5-on-3. And this, one thing I was going to get to later, might as well mention it now. Canada's biggest problem throughout this game, in my opinion, this is exactly what I was hoping for. And I probably should have mentioned it last episode. The key weakness here, too many cooks in the kitchen, right? When you have Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, all these guys on the same ice, there's only one puck, right? They have to all share it. And all these guys are the most lethal scorers in the world. Sam Reinhart. They can't. You got to know when to take your chances. And if you don't play with these guys a lot, the chemistry kind of isn't there. Right? So that's why I think, and I'm going to get to it later with the whole GM and coach thing, but our all around kind of approach was a little bit stronger of a choice. Clearly, we're the ones with the gold, right? Get into roster building later. But 5-on-3, they're launching the puck in every direction. We got guys laying out for blocks. We got guys hitting them when they get the puck, jumping up on passes, clearing the puck as soon as it touches their stick, before they even have time for their synapses to send a message. That puck's already out and passed in the Canada zone, right? That's all I have for that, but unbelievable effort by those players. And I know we cycled through all of them, every single person. No mistakes were made on that 5v3, because if there were, Canada would have an extra 2 goals and we'd be sitting here crying right now, right? So unbelievable effort on that. Second period was bad. Right? That 5 out of 3 took out all the energy from us. Listen, unbelievable to be able to kill that 5-on-3. Unbelievable. However, when you get put in a situation like that, you lose so much steam and momentum and energy. These guys were so tired. They were so tired. By the last minute of the period in the second, I thought they were going to score for sure because we were slow out there. We were really, really slow out there. And then we kept taking icings, which is going to happen if you're not a hockey watcher. The reason there were so many icings is because when you're so tired, you try and push it up to the guys who are trying to get the puck into their zone. But those guys are gassed. They're so tired. They can't, you don't connect on passes. Guys are throwing passes too far ahead, and you miss them just by a little bit. But cheers to them for fighting through that. Oh my God, must have been grueling just playing for that intermission, but they got there. 5-on-3 took so much energy out of us. Really bad icings. I mean, it led to their goal. They did score off an icing. We had a very bad icing, one that I think would have been incredibly could have been avoided 110%, right? And then we had Matthew Tkachuk. He stuck his stick out. We had no offense whatsoever. Finally got the puck into the zone, and boom, he put it right there, and doink, double doink. I mean, I know this is a football page, so shout out to any Chicago Bears fans listening here. You must have been aside from yourselves. I mean, that was the sound of the crossbar is brutal. And then you see guys' hands go up because they think it goes in. Nope. Get back to playing because that puck didn't go in. But we made it to the intermission. And unfortunately, the third period did not look any better, right? Slightly better, right? Because you don't have that. You got the rest in. You're not still gassed from that 5-on-3. But it really didn't look much better. I don't have many notes on it. It was very clear that they knew what I said in the previous episode. They knew to play Canada to a stalemate. Slow down the game. Don't let Canada get its chances. Lock down the house, right? And I don't usually like that. Because what happens is what happened to us in the Sweden game, right? You lock down the house. You're playing on your heels. You can't really do that in hockey unless you have an all-star team, which we did. Obviously, it worked, but you can stall. We were playing stall tactics, right? Slowing down the game, not letting Canada get into its groove. They were getting tons of scoring chances. I mean, Hellebuyck ended up having to make 40+ saves, right? Like, that's not a normal amount for a hockey game. I would say 30 is a lot. 40 is a ridiculous amount, especially when it only goes into like a minute 30 of overtime. I mean, we had to score early, couldn't get one. However, we were setting up just a touch, just getting the puck into the zone and passing it around the wings helps so much to get momentum back onto your side, to play your game. Because for every second you're playing your game, Canada's not playing theirs, right? They got Connor McDavid freaking out on the ice. I have to do something. I have to do something to give us that edge. And we didn't give them that little edge that they needed. I mean, they had chances, right? This was like destined. Nathan McKinnon standing there with an empty net, and he shoves it right into the side. Celebrini did not look noticeable. I mean, none of their guys really came through. I'm going to do line pairings and all that in the roster building section, but I want to talk about OT first. So, yeah, our strategy was to play to a stalemate. Play to a stalemate. So, overtime comes. Everybody in this bar is beside themselves. They're like, 3 of our guys are going to have to go up against Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, and Cale Makar all on the ice at the same time. I mean, this is open ice clinics. This is practice. And yes, a lot of people are extremely upset about the 3v3. I get it. We still won. Don't let anybody take even a slightest edge away from us winning this game, because we wouldn't have been saying that if that's what happened. However, I do agree, should be 5-on-5. The 3v3 definitely benefited us. It shouldn't have, because Connor McDavid has all the ice space he wants to work with, less people clogging up the ice for him. He's able to take over a game as a player like him should. But Yeah, if I had it my way, Olympic Games shouldn't ever go to 3v3. It should be 5-on-5 until somebody scores. Just I know that there was kind of a time element to this. That's why it was played at 8 a.m. I'm on 3 hours of sleep. I'm sure you can tell. But yeah, 3v3 does not belong in the Olympics. Nothing you could say. I mean, it was in the Olympics. You got to play by the Olympics rules. Canada cheated in curling. They still ended up wearing those gold necklaces. We all saw the finger, okay? But that you got to play by the Olympics rules. So we did 3v3. I saw Austin Matthews, Boldy, and Quinn Hughes on there to start. Very confident in that group after the tournaments that they've had. So excited to see. And one thing that on the ride back from the bar, I wanted to, me and my friends could not stop talking about this. Canada, throughout the entire game, played an unselfish game. As I said earlier, too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, Connor McDavid's passing up shots. You got other guys passing up shots, passing to other guys because nobody wants to be the guy, right? Nobody wants to be the selfish guy. Could not have been more the flip side in overtime, right? And I was surprised. I was shocked to see that that's the way John Cooper sent his team out. I don't know how much coaching you have to do if you see Connor McDavid, McKinnon, and Makar all go out there at the same time. I'll leave that to two-time Stanley Cup winner John Cooper. But I was shocked to see the display that went on. I mean, Connor McDavid, everybody was trying to play hero ball. Guys deking through the entire U.S. I was screaming because in overtime, the only thing that matters is puck possession. Face-offs, puck possession. Slow the game down. I was screaming in the bar, slow it down. Because really, there's no need to rush. Usually, there's no need to rush. However, if you got guys like Connor McDavid crashing the net solo with no passing, obviously Connor Hellebuyck's it's gonna be a pretty easy save for him. Obviously, not the easiest because it's Connor McDavid, and that's really scary because he's really fast and his hands are unbelievable. But he's gonna stop it probably because it's him, a few defenders, and Connor. That's it, right? There's no deception. So he has that as an easy save, blocks it, gets it right up to the guy. I was so upset that he froze the puck there because they ended up getting possession again and got off. Luckily for us, another bad shot, rushed to the net, selfish puck hoarding, you know? And I get it. He has every right to do that. He's Connor McDavid. He should be doing that, you would think, because he has all the ice space in the world to work with. But he gets caught. And that's the one thing you don't want in overtime is to get caught. Because if you get caught, that's an odd man rush going the other way, and it's going the other way really fast. A lot faster than you can skate down the ice after you turn on a dime, right? So that's what led to the chance of, or I think it was someone took it down. Werenski had it on the corner, and you're like, oh my God, shoot. But he finds that extra pass that Matthews was looking for in the first period, finds that extra pass, goes across, finds Jack Hughes in open ice, one of the best shots on the team, and he puts it right in. I believe it was 5-hole, which means between his legs. U.S. wins. Everybody frozen until we saw that hand go up, and we knew for sure. What a moment. I mean, and now we can get into kind of the post-game stuff. I mean, seeing the flag out there, seeing all the guys draped in the flag, seeing them, I was brought to tears when Matthew, I think it was Werenski and maybe Austin Matthews were holding Johnny Gaudreau's jersey. I mean, they panned to his dad, and he was just in hysterics. I mean, this is the stuff the Olympics were made of, you know? They take Matthew, first thing Matthew does before they take their team picture is goes and gets Johnny Gaudreau's daughter, I mean, and works her into the picture. I mean, picture perfect. That picture of the three of them skating with his jersey held up, I mean, that belongs in textbooks. That belongs on poster. That belongs on flags. That is an all-timer. If you see two things from this Olympics to remember, it is them holding up that jersey and then that save from Hellebuyck. I mean, these are just moments that are stuck with you forever. Forever. Scary how like vivid these pictures will be. I mean, I see it right now in my head, the three of them holding that jersey up and that save being made. I mean, unbelievable effort, total buy-in from all players and lines. And now I want to get into kind of the roster building. So when these rosters first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, oohs and ahs over Canada. Wow, they got McDavid, they got Crosby, they got blah 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 blah." Guess what? Bunch of silver winners right now. Okay, that's all they got. They got silvers because the only guy aside from Sid and Dowd, there's nobody aside from Sid and Doughty on that team who's won anything except silver. So they can talk all they want, right? Oh, Canada's team is so great. And then U.S. team dropped. And you look at it at first and you're like, huh, that's what they're going with? And then before I was outraged, I could dig up tweets if I really want to. Don't think I will. But I, at the time, tweeted, let's take a pause on this, right? Because what we did, and it was very obvious, we took role players. We got specific guys like Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller to play on the penalty kill. Did I think it would go as well as it did? No. 17 out of 17, perfect, 100% penalty kill percentage. I think those guys justified their position holding those gold medals, right? Don't you think so? Don't you think everybody kind of overreacted just a little bit? Maybe you need an all-around team. Maybe you need some guys to play role players to eat clock. Maybe you can't just throw all of your country's best players out there. That being said, I would really like to see, come 2 years from now, World Cup of Hockey, Jason Robertson get the shot he definitely deserves. I think we know what changes need to be made, if not many, but people are going to get older 2 years from now. But shout out to Bill Guerin, the amount of flack that he took. And if I have to, shout out to assistant general manager Chris Drury, who's whatever. We don't need to get into that right now. Shout out to them for sticking with their guns, not listening, not backing down to what everybody said. Oh, why are these guys here? Why blah, 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 blah. Still think Jason Robertson and Adam Fox could have had a place on this team, whether on reserves or whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm very proud, even to see the reserve guys like Jackson Lacombe. He gets a medal, whatever. Doesn't matter. Didn't even take a shift. Jake Ottinger. Happy to see these guys. Happy, because you never even know what happened in the locker room. So shout out to them. Shout out to Bill Guerin. Respect to Bill Guerin. You guys owe him a lot of apologies because he built this team in his own image, and I was willing to let it play out because it was him on the line. It was him on the line. And I think Canada, you're going to see quite a different Canada team next time. And another thing I wanted to point out, bit of a head scratcher. Canada rolls Marchand, Wilson, and Sam Bennett all on the same line. You might be asking, if you don't watch hockey, why does that matter? I think all those players are good, right? They are good. They are great. However, those guys are kind of like the Team USA players, right? They're kind of the dig it out of the corners, tough, get under your skin kind of guys. Really guys you hate to play against. I hate playing against Tom Wilson. I hate playing against Tom Wilson. And I want that to be known. Very frustrating player to play against, right? To have them all playing on the same line together is a waste. Work them in with your skill players. These guys earned their spot on the team. They have enough skill to be on this team by themselves. Why put them together? It's like it's lunacy. It's just poor management. And listen, I'm not in the business of giving Canada any sort of hints, nor do they need them. But it's decisions like that, you never know what costs you. And so shout out to them. Just, unbelievable day. First time in 46 years. Also, forgot to mention my Sweden episode. First time we beat Sweden in 66 years in the Olympics. Okay? So there were a lot of amazing things happening with this group. And you can tell, like, the look on their faces as the American national anthem was playing, they could not be any prouder to represent their country. You know, Jack Hughes said it best. Go watch his post-game interview. We're all feeling so great. I'm not taking this off all day. You're going to have to rip this thing off me. I know it's a Fox jersey, and I don't care he didn't play. I'm wearing this. And I already have a Mike Ruzioni jersey coming in the mail from parts unknown that I ordered off Amazon while I was watching the documentary like about a month ago. And it's still not here, but that's okay because I got this one. And I'm going to be wearing this proudly. Bleav in USA. That's what we all did here. Hope you took the minus 250 on USA. I mentioned last time over on FanDuel. Shout out to FanDuel for keeping the odds up this entire tournament. They didn't really believe in the USA, but I did. Hope you took them to the cleaners on that one. And I hope you listen to me on that over-under because I thought the over-under at 5.5 was absurd. Absurd. My early prediction, I have the text. I said 3-1 USA win with a goal late in the third after Canada has been trailing. We just put the nail in the coffin. 2-1 is just as great. 2-1 is just as great. Bleav in USA. That's it for the Olympics. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any better than this. We're going to have to wait another 4 years for the Olympics in France. I am very excited to watch the closing ceremonies, which may or may not be going on now. I don't know. But shout out to every athlete who competed. One for the U.S. I'd like to see our final gold medal tour. Our final medal totals. So USA comes in second with a total of 33 medals, 12 gold, 12 silver, 9 bronze. Obviously behind Norway because I don't know why. Norway's amazing at all this stuff. But surprising, Italy came in third. That's pretty cool for the host country. I like to see that. I hope that 12 includes the medal we all just saw them win. So thank you all for watching, for listening. So proud to have done this. So happy I took the step and did this. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for watching along the way. I hope you enjoyed this series. We'll see what we can do in the future. Maybe I'll be back in another 2 years for World Cup of Hockey. Who knows? Maybe you'll see me on another podcast. The only way to know for sure, subscribe to Bleav. Hit up our friends on FanDuel. Remember to keep believing in the USA. We win gold. Congrats to all the guys. I hope they watch this. Who knows? USA, baby.